out that about 85% or more of RV owners are underinsured on their campers.
Welcome to another episode of the RV Voice. Today I'm sitting with my co-host Shane Larson, and we have a special guest, actually two special guests today, and their names are Britt and Jesse. We're going to be talking about RV insurance, and we're going to let them tell us about their background first. So Britt, let's start with you. You started in the RV industry a while ago, but brag about yourself. Tell us about your RV industry history.
Hey guys, thanks for having us. My name is Britt Kramer. I kicked off my journey in the RV industry about 10 years ago. It's been a wild ride. I've had the chance to work with all sorts of really cool teams. On the sales side, I focused more on bringing folks into this industry and into the lifestyle. And then did some time working with our service teams. It was all about kind of fine-tuning processes to ensure top-notch care. And then worked a little bit with our collision experts, dabbled in some business development center stuff, and led some awesome customer service teams as well. I kind of feel like the wide range of experience has given me a well-rounded understanding of RVs, the industry, our customers. Plus, I'm a camper myself, so my husband and our two young kids, we hit the road in our RV a lot, experiencing a lot of the highs, a lot of the bumps along the road that a lot of campers know all too well. So that's a little bit about me.
Oh, perfect. Jesse, you came more out of the insurance industry, correct?
Yes, sir. That is correct. Awesome. Well, Jake, unlike Britt, I don't have as much RV industry or very little RV industry experience. But I do have 16 years of insurance experience. So kind of started out like helping others protect themselves from the unexpected, like we do today, all across the U.S. And then, I kind of switched sides and went more of like the underwriting side. I do have a little bit of a nickname called Officer Jesse. So that comes from my underwriting background there. And then I kind of did a 180 and went from like the underwriting side to the tech side, right? So I was helping our customers at the time do business easier with us, right? We want to make it easier for customers to do business in the insurance world. And then after that, I was like, all right, let me get out of this tech world for a little bit and get my feet back on the ground, and started working with agents and helping them all kinds of stuff, right? With their marketing. I helped them, during the pandemic, kind of get out of their comfort zone a little bit and work with technology in a new and a different way. And then also taught them, how to use new systems, right, to get more with the times. And again, it's all about that customer experience. So what I did in the past and what I brought to ACI, it's the customer at the forefront. So that's why we're here today, is to help y'all learn more about the RV insurance world and how to better protect yourself. So back to you. Thank you.
Perfect. So Adventure Club Insurance is a great mix for you two, because you guys got RV and insurance industry backgrounds. So can you kind of walk us through like how Adventure Club Insurance started, and just kind of walk through that.
Yeah, I'll take that one, Jake. So we really started Adventure Club Insurance because Bishes actually found out that about 85% or more of RV owners are underinsured on their campers. Obviously, that's super concerning, and a lack of proper coverage can lead to significant financial losses if something goes wrong with their campers. In fact, it actually is taking people out of the industry altogether, out of the ability to stay in the lifestyle of camping. So that's one of the main reasons why we were founded and why we have a team of RV insurance experts here to help with that.
Wow. 85%. So what does that really look like, being underinsured? Because I know from the sales side, as in like people would like, hey, you have to have proof of insurance when you take this thing home, right? But a lot of people just tag it on to like an auto policy or something like that. Why can't we do that? Or why people shouldn't do that?
you nailed it. So great start. You're like, yeah, this is awesome. So main issue is that most RV owners don't have a true RV policy. Kind of like you mentioned, often their policies are written as an extension to their auto or like an add-on to their auto insurance policy, which doesn't always cut it for your RV. An RV is more like a home on wheels that goes through an earthquake every time you use it, where your standard auto policy is just not going to protect you, your camper, and your belongings in most cases. So we're kind of here to just make sure that you have the right coverage for you, your camper, your family, like I said, your belongings inside the camper, and really make sure that we can match you with the right coverages there.
So I have a question to tag on to that a little bit. When I was doing some research on just the different types of situations that do arise, you had mentioned, protecting, the RV goes down the road. It's like a mini earthquake that happens every single time. And then protecting the stuff inside the RV, which, like you said, is just like home insurance. Like you're looking for, like, things can happen, like where somebody burglarizes a home or vandalizes a home or like natural disasters. But what do you guys see is one of the most common or some of the most common issues that need to be insured? Is it theft? Does that happen a lot? Because I don't think a lot of new RV owners even realize that, like, RVs get broken into sometimes. That's just the reality, depending on where you're at, and stuff like that. So what are some of the most common things that need to be insured?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thefts do happen, right? I would say that's not the most common thing that happens. The most common claim that we hear about is a roof leak, right? And so a lot of people think that, they're out there in that rainstorm. I'm sure, Britt, have you ever been out in a rainstorm before in your camper?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Crazy.
So lots of rainstorms, right? And a lot of people have this perception that, if my roof leaks, it's going to be covered by my insurance policy. Well, most of the time, unless you have a true RV policy, that's not going to be covered. So I would say the biggest thing that we see right now is roof leaks. And unfortunately, some of them that we hear about are not covered because they don't have that true RV policy, Shane.
Do you guys handle those types of situations, like a roof leak, similar to that of a home then, where there's a certain deductible that's met and whatnot? Is it just basically the exact same thing for most insurances across the board?
I would definitely not use the word exact. It depends on the scenario. And there's also different deductibles actually that come into play. So like homeowners policies nowadays, sometimes they have different wind and hail deductibles. The same goes with RVs, right? So it is similar, but definitely not exact. But I like where you're going with that, Shane.
Okay.
So how does someone become properly insured? I mean, there's a million different insurance companies out there. I mean, there's Progressive, Allstate, yada yada, blah blah blah. Farmers. I worked in the industry, like the home insurance industry, and then now we got warranties and stuff with RVs. Now, how does that work with all that? How do you get properly insured?
Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead, Brett.
Tag. I would just first and foremost recommend, above all, to make sure that you're working with an RV insurance expert. While your average insurance agent is an expert in so many products, when you consider how many products they really have on their plate, RVs are probably pretty low on the totem pole of their focus, right? So here at ACI, we have a whole team to help that are RV insurance experts. While we do also insure homes, cars, all of your other toys, that kind of stuff, our team has been from day one that we hire on a new agent. All of our team members are licensed agents as well, but we hire them on and we really dig in and train them on the RV industry, on RVs as a product, and then obviously, of course, really on the RV insurance products and coverages. So, and especially because we are partnered with Bishes, we have a lot of information on the industry, on the types of products y'all are selling, all of that kind of stuff. And so that helps us be better armed to help the customer insure their RV specific to their needs appropriately.
And Jesse, so you write policy, or you have wrote policies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So on the backside of that, I mean, there's more to it than like, hey, so like, hey, here, I need an RV policy. Well, you click a button as a writer or an insurance agent and it pops up, but there's a lot more to it than that. Like, what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, absolutely. And Britt hit the nail on the head earlier. She talked about it's like how you use it, right? The way Britt uses a camper, the way you use a camper, and the way I would use a camper, they're all different, right? So we all have different insurance needs. And so the great thing is that when you work with our team, we ask those questions, right? It's not a one size fits all policy. It's truly how you use the camper, right? Let's say we're talking to somebody and they let us know that they live in it full time, right? Those are different coverages than somebody that is just using it, on the weekends, during the summer, right? And our team is coached, and they are the RV experts to be able to help you properly insure your RV based on how you use it. And then once we learn how they use it, then we know how to customize those coverages, which we can get into as well.
Interesting. So it's not a one size fits all.
Not at all.
Well, so should we give them some scenarios?
Yeah, you start.
Well, I'm Jake, and I bought an adventure trailer that I take up in the mountains probably 4 to 6 times a year for hunting and camping. It's about a 14-foot trailer, maybe a 10-foot box, not very big, but it's really cool because, what would that look like?
Yeah. Well, Jake, is it a new or used camper?
Brand new.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. That's super exciting. So the way you insure a new camper is different from a used camper. So we offer
that's good news.
different options for that. Yeah. Because, you put some serious money into that camper, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So you want to make sure something were to happen, right? You're driving down and that rock falls out of the mountain onto your camper. You want a new camper, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have one of these coverages. It's called, it's actually a settlement option. It's called total loss replacement. So you can only get that on new campers, right? It can only be 1 year old and you have to be the original owner. So, but good news, if you talk to an RV expert, ACI, right, you're going to have that coverage because we're going to ask you like how you use it. And there's a handful of more coverages that we would talk about, but I would say for your brand new 14-foot camper, you're going to be golden with that total loss replacement.
Perfect. Should kill it.
Let's use my example here. Married, 3 kids, 2 dogs. We'll call it 2.5. I have a Chihuahua as well. Okay. We're going to use a used RV here. It's going to be a travel trailer. And we're going to be taking up probably, same amount of time, 4 to 8 different times per summer here in Idaho, right? What would that look like for us? What do we need?
Yeah.
Jesse, hit them with some vacation liability.
Yeah.
Those kids, they're going to need it, man.
Oh my gosh. That is right. Oh my goodness. What if you're on your campsite and your 2.5 dogs, right, are out there, and these little kids are walking by and they're on your campsite. And what happened if that little Chihuahua bites the ankle of the 5-year-old walking by? Then what? Are you going to pay for that out of your pocket?
I don't intend on doing that.
No. Well, good news. Talking to an RV expert here at ACI, you won't have to, right? That vacation liability would cover it. And what that is, it covers those situations when you get yourself in a pickle and somebody comes over on your campsite and gets injured, or even inside of your camper, right? Let's say if you have one too many drinks and you invite somebody over and you're not paying attention, you're being careless, and they fall and break their leg, right? You're not going to want to pay for their hospital bills, but good news, you have vacation liability. Will step in and pay for your friend and their hospital bills.
Holy moly.
Wow, that right there is intriguing.
I did not know that.
We need to clip this one and share that with the world, because that's completely different than what I was expecting. That took me for a loop right there, down a different pathway there.
Yeah,
okay.
Camping and drinking, they kind of go hand in hand. Yeah, we need to tell people about that. right. Well, dang. We'll have another scenario. I'm Jake. I bought a camper because housing is expensive. And I live in an RV park, and I don't move the RV. I maybe move it once every 2 years, but I live in the thing full time. I'm hooked up to everything, got electricity, straight into a sewage, whatever. I don't have to do any of that. So it doesn't move. What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, good news that you're at an RV park, right? And nowadays, a lot of RV parks require you to have what they call full-timers coverage, right? And again, there's a lot of good news shared today. Good news, Jake. You've talked to an ACI RV expert, and you have full-timers coverage, right? And what that is, it's kind of like a homeowner's policy, right? It has that extra layer of liability on top of it. And pretty cool, has little extra things like it'll cover a shed. It'll even cover some payments in there. But it's your home, right? It's your baby. Just like you would want to have a homeowner's policy, and if you took out a mortgage, most people are taking out loans on their RVs. Just like, I don't know if you had. I don't want to ask that to get too personal here, but let's say you took a loan out on it. You definitely want to make sure if something were to happen that you're protected and have that extra coverage. And again, like I said, a lot of RV parks now require that coverage for you. And a lot of our competitors are not offering that coverage. They're a bit behind the times, but we here at ACI, we got you.
Awesome. So say it's a toy hauler and I have 3 motorcycles in it, which would probably be true. Are those covered? Say the thing just blows up or a gas leak or starts on fire for some odd reason. Are my motorcycles covered as well under that full time?
Those are separate policies, but yeah, we still insure those, right? So Britt mentioned earlier, we cover all kinds of toys. Those toys, they're separate policies, but good news is they're easy for us to help you out with, and you know that they'll be replaced again, so you can get out there on the mountains and keep having fun.
Okay, on the other hand, though, Jake, like one thing that we haven't talked about is personal belongings that might not be your toys. So the more common camper, being that toy haulers are super important to our industry, and those of you who are listening and watching that have toy haulers, it's like my dream. So I'm stoked for you. But the more common camper that does have personal belongings that aren't toys, one thing that we should, I think, and mention, and I love the way that Jessie presents this, so I'm going to let her talk to you a little bit about how we cover personal belongings and how we want people to think about personal belongings.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think about that toy hauler, right? And besides those motorcycles, and you just take off the roof, right? And you dump it upside down, right? And you give it a little shake, 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 like little salt and pepper shakers. Everything that falls out, right? Those are your personal belongings, right? And if something were to happen to those, do you want those replaced?
Oh, absolutely.
You do, right? Do you want to have to keep every receipt for everything you ever owned and you put in that camper? No, that is way too much work. No way, right? You want them to be replaced for what they cost now. And because if you don't have that coverage on there, Jake, how is it? Do you know how it's going to be covered? It's not a trick question.
Separate insurance policies.
Yeah, or you're gonna have to file a homeowner's claim or a renter's insurance claim. Whew, no way, right? That is not worth it. So we offer that. It's called personal effects, and we do cover it at full replacement value. So you don't have to worry about keeping every little receipt, worrying about if something were to happen to your belongings, because those things can add up real quick.
Definitely. I think we're talking to some experts, buddy.
Heck yeah. I have a question to kind of add on to this, and I don't want to assume the answer, so that's why I'm going to ask it. A big thing nowadays is solar panels, whether it be on a home or an RV. Like, people want to use solar panels. And I'm curious if there's a policy that actually covers that. Does that go under what we were just talking about with personal belongings? How does that work if, you talked about roof leaks? And so I got thinking about solar panels. When somebody wants to actually utilize those, do you guys have an insurance policy that covers those?
Yeah. There's a couple different ways to think about solar panels. I want to make sure that we kind of separate the two, because this is where, you know, customers just like you, a lot of people kind of get it confused on what insurance covers and what it doesn't. The mechanical breakdown of the solar panel, you know, that would be not something that ACI would cover. However, if, let's say, a tree falls on the camper and it damages the solar panels, then that would be covered. So if it's attached to the RV, right? So when you shake it upside down, right, that's not falling out, right? So that's part of the camper at that point. And so that would be covered under comprehensive coverage.
Wow. Okay. The test is just to turn it upside down and shake
That's
it.
right.
And that's how you know where it's
That's,
covered.
that's easily done.
Seriously, right?
Pretty simple. You got
Exactly.
muscles.
We got to cut the roof first, and then you got to flip it over.
It's just a 2-step process.
That's right.
Well, this is awesome, lady. There's a lot of information that I didn't really know about the situations and the scenarios. Obviously, everyone's a little bit different, so you're kind of catering to a certain person and a certain situation for each one of these. I didn't know all that. I thought there was like a one-size-fits-all. Hey, you need to be fully insured. Here it is. So I don't know if I have any more questions. I think they answered most of mine.
Right. And then we just put here on the screen, I guess, to call for a quote. So is that when you get a quote, are these the types of questions that you guys are going to go through with those individuals who call in? Like, hey, we're going to kind of break it down and figure it out before we can even put you in a little bit of a bucket, so to speak?
Yeah, absolutely. But Shane, I do have one more question for you and about your Chihuahua. So do you think maybe if your Chihuahua's like running around in there and, you know, maybe it's kind of messy and maybe leave some dog food and some crumbs around, you don't get quite to cleaning it up, and some mice get in there,
Right.
right?
I'm burning the thing down. That's the answer.
Mice get in there, right?
Jesse, are you telling me that the Irish Spring trick isn't going to do it for Shane?
It is not. It is not.
Okay, just
Right?
checking.
So we got to make sure we're cleaning up there after the Chihuahua. Irish Spring may smell good, may smell fresh and clean. However, it's not going to keep the critters away. Just wanted to make sure you knew that, Shane.
So,
And so what happens?
yeah, you got to explain what's going on.
What then? What?
Now I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So if, again, you're talking to that RV expert here at ACI, they're going to recommend that pest damage protection, right? And good news, it's a separate deductible, and you're going to be covered. We have a couple different options, you know, depending on what's best for you. And that will be covered under pest damage protections. So guess what? Maybe you won't have to worry too much about that Chihuahua. And even if they leave some dog food and some crumbs around and those mice get in there, you know that you're going to be protected.
Ooh. Again, like JB just said, that's insightful stuff that I didn't have any clue about, to be honest. Like, it's not a one size fits all. There's so many different scenarios that even I, as a dog owner, wouldn't even have thought of. But that's stuff that can happen, because it has in my garage, and I almost burned my house down because of mice. So there you go.
Wow,
good
that
news
is a
to me.
real life story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I don't know if I got any more.
I don't either, man. I think this is great.
Ladies, I think you crushed it.
Sweet,
You
guys.
answered all the questions. If there's any other questions, we'll be sure to have you on here again. But guys, gals, everybody listening, give Adventure Club Insurance a call if you need any RV insurance or any other insurance. It sounds like they can do it all. So with that being said, Britt and Jesse, thank you so much for joining the RV Voice, and stay tuned for more, y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Bye, guys.
you.